Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is WiX Online Meeting 309. Big round number coming up next time. It's July. It's hot here. And very happy to have all of you here with us right here, right now that are. And for those of you who aren't, this meeting was recorded for you. If you're here, go ahead and say hi. Bert's already said hi. It's cool. What are we doing today? It's pretty simple right now. We're just kind of staying on top of week 7 and getting through a very, very busy work summer, which will make more sense when I talk about it in the future, but that's not now. Let's do triage, and then we'll answer any questions, comments, things that people want to talk about from chat, but I don't expect there's going to be too much to do. So, Bob, ready to go do triage?
Sure, why not?
Sure, why not? All right, here we go. Triage. All right. Starting at the top. 9317. Wix standard bootstrap application window disappears behind Windows Explorer window. So this I found like somewhat interesting because it happens when you launch your bundle from Explorer. And I haven't done that a lot, I guess, because I'm just launching from command prompt often. And Windows doesn't get the parent correct after UAC all the time, and sometimes will bring that Windows Explorer back to the front instead of the Bootstrap application because it's all within your window tree, your process tree. So it's kind of funky. Anyway, so go ahead and give this to me because I was poking at this a little bit, and I think we have a nice, like a really simple change we can make in Burn to just say, hey, try to make the Bootstrap application. And normally that wouldn't work, but because it's picking something in our chain, it might work and put us back on top of Explorer. So it's kind of a best effort thing is what I'm thinking. Anyway, so I dug into this a little bit because I was just like, really, really, really? And it turns out, yeah, it's kind of funky. So go ahead, give this to me. I'll look at this in Wix 8 because I'm curious enough to go ahead and kick this around a bit. So that's 9317. 9318. Install dir special dialog does not work or needs updating. What does not work?
My initial reaction to this bug was, what are you doing spelunking through test code expecting it to be, production ready? And then I saw that it's linked to from the doc.
Oh,
What
okay.
kind of idiot did that? Oh,
All right. So is this a doc bug or a
It's,
actual bug?
well, I made it an actual bug by making it a doc content issue.
Okay.
Which I don't like. Basically the test code was just test code, right? All the UI extension tests is doing with this is making sure this stuff is wired up correctly. It doesn't, validate the behavior because you'd have to run the MSI to do that. So as a test, it's fine, but I do mention it in the doc because that was a convenient way of referring to code when you're doing Wix UI customization. Unfortunately, I didn't touch this when I got rid of some of the custom actions.
Right.
So
Yeah, this is all the validate path stuff, right?
I think that's this particular issue.
Right. All right. So are you taking it?
Yeah.
And we'll decide which way it gets fixed, doc or otherwise. Or
Yeah.
sort of
I will probably. Well, I definitely want to keep the test, and I will probably update it.
Oh, so it works.
Just because it's still good to have something to point to.
Sure. All right. Sounds good. So fixing test code. That's interesting. All right. Cool. 9320. Burn containers should be parallelized like package cabs. All right.
The build thereof.
Yes.
I should have clarified.
Yes. I understood because parallelized like package cabs. I got that. Yeah, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Seems reasonable. Someone could do that.
Yeah, I would rather, if I'm going to be working in burn container builds, I'd rather work on LZMA than to make cabbing better.
Yeah, this definitely feels like something we should do after the container stuff, or when doing the container stuff, also make sure it's parallelizable. But yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't disagree. So yeah, up for grabs. So we're good to grab that. Although, probably should leave a note that, well, I don't know. I have to figure out when we're doing the LZMA thing, such and such. So,
Right.
order of summer of work is busy. We just got to get through the summer, and then we'll breathe a little bit easier. All right, 9321. Which standard BA doesn't show UAC? I just reviewed this morning, didn't I?
Yeah, no, you
Oh,
didn't.
this is different or similar.
Heavy sigh. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's all related. Basically, the
Huh, yeah.
the code. Wix, I did not do enough to plumb all of the configurable scope stuff
To the UI.
through it, not just Wix Standard BA, but Ball actually.
Oh.
The issue here is that I did update the generation of the BA data XML, but I didn't
Oh.
then update Ball to acknowledge the idea that, oh, look, instead of having just a bool for per machine, there's now an enum for scope.
Gotcha.
So Ball thinks that every package is now essentially per user.
That's a bummer.
Yeah, this is actually, I think, the I would say this is the biggest issue or regression to come in 7
Yeah, I
so
agree.
far.
I don't know that we do another build for it, but if we do another build, we
I
should
know.
toss this one in.
Agreed.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. I vote you fix this.
Well, luckily this is a democracy. Yeah,
I
I will fix it.
yeah, okay. Cool. All right. And we'll queue it up for somehow stick it somewhere in case we have a 701, then we'll toss it in there too.
Yep.
Assuming it's not a crazy fix, but the change I saw for the other part wasn't. So
Yeah. So basically, well, so that I merged that fix, and then of course the build failed because of the NuGet audit stuff.
uh
Yeah,
fine.
I'll have to go back in and fix that.
Mm.
But yeah, the it's now easier to add the elevation shield inside the theme.
Got it.
So this will let me get rid of some extra code that is no longer needed.
Cool. Cool. All right. Cool. 9322. Consider adding ARM64 custom actions as ARM64X. I happen to know a little bit about this, but you want to tell the story, Bob, real quick? Or
It's pretty much all in there.
yeah.
Basically, there is a bug in MSI when you're upgrading from a package built as x64 with a package built as ARM64. MSI runs custom actions out of proc in custom action sandboxes. I think that's I don't remember if they actually call them out of sandboxes, but that's the purpose. The problem is MSI decided smartly to say, oh, well, okay, I can reuse these sandboxes to save some time. Maybe not a great idea, but okay, we'll take it. The problem is they reuse them based on the the flavor of the custom action. So, oh, this is a deferred no impersonate custom action. I will create a deferred no impersonate custom action sandbox for what is a 64-bit custom action. Great. The problem is it doesn't look at the architecture. It just looks at the bitness. So MSI tries to reuse the 64-bit custom action sandbox that it created for the x64 package. Sorry, this is all happening during an upgrade, a major upgrade.
Right.
So the x64 package runs an early uninstall. MSI creates the sandbox during the uninstall of the x64 package, and then says, oh, look, it's still around. I will use that for this new package that happens to be a different architecture. And Windows emulates very well, but not to the extent that you can load the an actual ARM64 code into an x64 process, except for ARM64X, which is basically a way of, it's not quite like a fat binary where you have copies of both, um, but ARM has this or the ARM build tools, Visual C++, has ARM64 EC. EC is emulation compatible, I think, which basically makes it more like x64 code. ARM64X basically takes that ARM64 EC code with your ARM64, pure ARM64 code, and does, loader magic to support running the ARM64 EC code inside an x64 process.
Yeah. It's crazy stuff they're doing for
It's
ARM64.
it's really really interesting, and the ARM64X stuff is kind of bolted on because you have to create ARM64 and ARM64 EC builds, and then Visual C++ just goes, oh, okay, I will munge those together. So you're not building for ARM64X, you're building for ARM64 and ARM64 EC, and there's magic. And I mean, in the end, it all works. And it's not like it's an actual fat binary that has two copies of everything. Again, there's just some loader magic happening. Um, so
So this is a
for
bunch of
the
build process work.
this is mostly build process work, um, with some extra stuff. Now, this is all for custom actions, so that's where the rest of the work is. Um, I, I'm proposing we not do this for anything other than custom actions because there's no need.
There's no need, right? Yeah.
Like for this is specifically to handle this weird MSI bug. It's a workaround. It's not like this isn't a feature. I should label that more clearly. Um, it's, normally you don't need ARM64X, but this is a particular case where the use case is to run ARM64 code inside an x64 process. Oh, look, that's exactly what we're hitting because of this MSI bug. So the custom actions, including the SFXCA loader, whatever you want to call it, adapter widget from DTF, would need to be built as ARM64X. The other advantage of ARM64X is that the way they, again, yeah, this is like weird stuff they're doing for ARM64. ARM64X is it's a flag inside the PE headers, but if you happen to be running Windows 10, which does not understand ARM64X, it looks like a normal ARM64 PE. It's really weird. But that means that this change would be compatible with Windows 10.
Okay. Which is on extended life support.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. My bigger concern about the Windows 10 on ARM is just I don't know what the rules are. All the rules are about the various ARM machines that have come out. Um, the Windows ARM dev box that Microsoft released in 2022, I know upgrades to Windows 11. I don't know if that's like a general thing, or and maybe it's just it doesn't upgrade, then you're out of support and it's whatever. But at least for WiX 8, having that compatibility would be good. So therefore,
Yep.
ARM64X is a good solution for the problem and is down level compatible. So it's a safe change.
Yep. Sounds like a thing for 8.
Okay.
All right. I think that's everything. Yep. That was fun. Kind of as expected. Just simple things. I'm all right with that. And if anything pops up for WiX 7, then we might toss that UAC thing in there.
Yeah.
Or if we get it, or I will say, or if we get enough of them that we're like, if we get anything for WiX 7, we could toss that in there. We might end up getting tipped over. Go, we should just fix a bunch of those little things that there's enough niggling little things that we should try to fix them.
Yeah, but there aren't them. There aren't any. I mean, not any, but
So
I
far,
haven't. Yeah, so far nothing has made me go, oh God, Rob really screwed up when he put that bug in.
Yeah, true. So anything else anybody else wants to talk about things going on? It's, I know I keep saying this because the summer I always knew was going to be busy for me. And so I'm very much in the middle of a whole bunch of other things, both at home and at work. So it's kind of like just cruising along. And I have to admit, I'm very happy that we've not had really big, huge WiX 7 bugs, because then I would just have one more thing onto my plate that I have to go figure out how to tackle. And I don't need more right now. But this is all good. I hope everybody else is having a wonderful summer. Unless you're in the southern hemisphere, then you have winter. But I don't know what that feels like. So having winter during summer is weird. That would just be really weird. All right, I'm just killing time. We'll be here in a month. Sorry, this meeting got bumped a little bit due to scheduling snafu on my side. But I do believe I've picked the correct time here. The 19th of August should be the third Wednesday. And we will do basically this all again with whatever issues pop up. I don't expect a whole lot of movement in that time frame because it's still the summer of work. Unfortunately, that's not the summer of work on WiX. It is the summer of work on lots of many other things. But we're still cruising, still reviewing, keeping track of stuff, and all that good things. All right, I feel like I filled the space. Not a lot of questions right now, and that's okay. August. You have anything else, Bob?
No, I've given myself quite enough work, thank you.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. All right. Well, until next month, which is still 4 weeks away, which is part of the other things. July has an extra week in it, based off my calendar looking. I was like, wait, what? Or actually, an extra Wednesday, we'll say. So anyway, we'll be back in 4 Wednesdays, 4 weeks next month at the appropriate time, and we'll do this all again. Until then, you guys take it easy. Bye.
Bye.